criticism of game one was that Aurora didn't make any moves. Effie, is that fixed? Do you feel like they will / they have to?
Absolutely. They're definitely going to make moves. They're not playing into Omni Shadow Demon. They have Lornoff on Timber. They have aggressive supports themselves. So this one should be very action-packed. And it is an Earth Spirit on Heroic. It's going to be brawls all the time.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think both of these teams thrive in that environment. I think viewers can thrive in that environment. And I wonder if Coach Caps can thrive in that environment as well.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, indeed. So my first question is going to be, this is the first Spectre we've seen at the International this year. What are your thoughts on it, and are you ready for it?
I saw that he was playing it on pubs, but I can't say that I was ready for it. I don't think the hero is that good. But, it's TI. Like, the Spectre has won a TI before. Let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes, indeed. I mean, last game obviously went really, really well for you guys. What do you put that down to? Is that the draft, the play, or a bit of both?
I think it's a bit of both. We struggle a lot against beastcoast, I think, more than we should. And I think we reset and we went for the right things in the draft as well. So just two things together, just in the middle.
Absolutely, looked excellent. We'll see. Is this going to be a 2-0? What are you thinking? Do you have the advantage here?
I think so, yes. Like, it's not like a clear win, but I think we do have the advantage.
Awesome, Cass. Thank you very much. Big confidence coming out here. Let's see if they can deliver. Heroic game 2 versus Aurora coming up now with Sunspan and Cinderin.
Game number 2, Heroic Aurora. Hoping for a better performance from Aurora. That game 1 did not look pretty, Cinderin, but yeah. I do think they have the ability to certainly compete in this, not just this series, but at TI in general. So I'm expecting this to go to game 3.
I mean, I definitely think strategically in this game, they're set up for a more likely avenue into the game. I personally am a little bit worried about Spectre. One of the major downsides of this hero is effectively most of the time, whatever hero is laning against Spectre will have a good lane. So you are offering this Mars Snapfire a really good start.
Wow, this is so cheesy.
Oh yeah, this is classic. Darkseer loves doing this. So the thing about it is Spectre should have a relatively hard time from the get-go against this type of lane. Mars Snap is incredibly strong and Spectre is very weak, so we'll see if 23 Savage can just get activated in the beginning of the game.
Yep.
And the other thing is, Darkseer has been relatively unpopular. I believe it has one game played, and I actually think that was Jabs. So if I'm not mistaken, we cast that game early on in the group stage from Aurora, and they did win that one. So that's the good news for them, is that they've had a game on the Darkseer and they won it. And, well, if they're just going to keep cutting the wave, then it doesn't really matter the thing the panel is talking about Troll is good against Darkseer Tusk. Well, guess what? They're not even going to lane. Well, he's running out of mana now, so...
Yeah, he's got some mana pots now. Yeah.
One more set here.
And, I mean, it's just the Phoenix that was, trying to deny this, and it's just not going to do anything.
It's actually important for this that it is the Phoenix 5 and not some other hero that poses more of a kill threat or has a slow or a stun or some annoyance.
But you can see that KJ is now pulling the wave.
Yeah, I like this. He's pulling the enemy creeps into the hard camp, which you would normally never do.
Yeah.
This is what you want the enemy team to not be able to do. But, well, if you're the one who benefits from the farm, why not? Also, KJ took Dying Light. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's very unusual on support Phoenix, I would think.
I know a few months ago it was pretty much a 50-50, but...
Even on support. Because I was thinking you usually take the Sunray one, but...
How often do you not support?
The hot spot.
Question.
Yeah, that's... I mean, we had a phase with some mid-Phoenixes going Dying Light. I remember seeing that, but...
I think it's a mix, but I could be wrong.
Maybe it is just
the one that you're talking about is definitely more common. It's 23 Savage getting pressured, Blood Grenade, but Ollie's there to support him.
He's 11-0 right now on the Spectre. I know this is very early to focus on CS, but honestly, this is often where Spectre is trailing by a meaningful amount. So already a good start here for 23.
Yeah, for sure. And they're still doing these cutting of waves in the bot lane, so feels like everybody's getting farm so far. It's game number 2. Like everybody just agreed, all right, let's just get the CS, both sides. I think our lineup's better, so... And the Courier, like it's sniped here. The old one shot from Q.
Band of Elven Skin. Has to wait for that now.
Typical carry, forgetting about his career because he only cares about himself. K1 is now pulling the waves.
Imagine you haven't watched Dota in like years. And this is the first game you watch, and there's two heroes playing between the lanes, and one of them is just jumping around on a skip rope half the time.
Yeah, I'd be pretty confused as well.
It's a different experience.
KJ doing some unintended damage to the creeps. This 23 Savage is going to take a scatter blast. Will attempt to TP out to the tier 1, so he does live, but yeah, no regen to work with. If Heroic can capitalize on this, this is going to be pretty brutal for the Spectre, but in a safe spot right now.
Big damage onto Schofield.
Yeah, those illusions are doing
He will
quite
live, but it's close. I mean, one more attack plus the poison.
Stop hitting yourself, Schofield.
Yeah.
Trying to outmaneuver, and he will juke the illusions in the end.
By running in a straight line. Insane juke.
Well, he went to the right a bit. Come on. Not completely straight. KJ trying to get some denies, gets at least one there.
He has to be a little bit careful here on the Phoenix by going for this, because if he gets caught mid Icarus dive trajectory by a snowball, he dies on the spot. He has no escape plan then.
Yep.
So,
well, they got mana boots now, so they can literally just live in between lanes.
This begs the question,
I don't think I've seen this go on this long before.
How long does Tusk do this?
Yeah, true.
Because when Darkseer really wants levels, it's ideal for Jabs to get level 5 as soon as possible and combine this with some additional jungle creeps if possible. Oh, they're just going to dive, it looks like. They're running at him with the drinking buddies.
There is a TP coming in, though. Hector in a bit of trouble. Snowball's coming for him. A couple right clicks will suffice, but the cookie to keep him alive. Ice Shard's not enough. Now the Scatter Blast onto Q with the dive to follow. He's going to eventually tick away, and it's KJ who gets the first blood in this game number 2.
They were very aware of this possibility. That was clearly premeditated. If they dive us, TP down with Schofield immediately, and a nice cookie save there into the kill. First blood going the way of Phoenix.
The enemy creeps finally end up colliding.
This looks like a normal lane
counterparts.
Now. Let's enjoy it for the next 30 seconds until we're out on a picnic.
Do they just do it again, though? I wonder.
It's got to be a little bit careful. Hector is level 5, and this is 3 heroes. And this is another luxury you have when you're playing against Spectre, is Mars can be alone top. Like, Spectre Shadow Demon is not a dangerous lane to play against with 2 Bracer Mars, so it's not like Divine Llama needs to call back his support for assistance here. Yeah, that full bore is...
It's brutal.
Nasty. Jabs, no mana.
Yeah, and he's going to get some Whirling Axes, although Ollie's coming in from the south, gets off his disruption on a K1. Have to work with his illusions now. He has stacks of Shadow Poison applying to him. He gets a nice Whirling Axes, but dies shortly after his KJ. I believe he gets a kill with his passive.
Very close fight. Analog has showed up. Wants to go for Jabs with the roll. If he connects this one, he's too far. Not going to happen.
Yeah, first rotation from Analog. He does hit the stone here.
Oh, the full bore,
and the right click.
Ah, man, that's my old brain being like, he can't connect here. The spell cooldown is way too long. But guess what? Full bore has 1,000,000 range and does a lot of damage.
And we're 40 seconds away from the Wisdom Rune. We'll see how long they want to stick around if they try for some shenanigans. Shadow Poison starting at 6. He's actually stuck there. So we'll take a third stack and walk away. And Jabs, happy to be under the tower this time.
Level 6 on Analog. Don't count him out just yet. He might just go for a dive here. He's posing it at least.
Still has that Magnetize.
Okay, he's just running straight into the tower.
Yeah, that's a sign of aggression.
Well, you could say that.
Just take some tower shot. This is the handicap you have to work with, you know? Like, I can take hits from the tower. You can't.
He was not making his intentions unknown there. Everybody knew what was happening. It was not trying to surprise gang them. He was literally running at a straight line through the tower, but...
In the end, Wisdom Runes are traded, as was intended by Gaimin. We haven't really talked about Lornoff on this mid-Timbersaw. What do you think about this hero in this particular game?
Pretty... I think the Eternal Shroud that the panel was talking about is very important. I think he's not that strong right now because of the overwhelming amount of...
drinking buddies, and there's the Spectre, first ult of the game. K1 in a lot of trouble, but here comes the Mars Arena, but no, the Troll does sidetrack on the outskirts, but look at the damage all under this tier 1 tower. 23 Savage ticking away, although Analog doesn't have a whole lot of mana to work with, so they get the Tusk, they'll get the Darkseer, and these heroes are dropping like flies, although The scatter blast is avoided. 23 Savage gonna be able to dodge another roll.
He has no escape plan though. No TP.
Could try to deny himself to the creeps. He's
He's making
spotted
it work
now.
for it. Did he magnetize nothing?
I'm not sure.
I didn't see the magnetize. I was like, they're all
Another
gonna
spectral
die.
dagger into the trees. He spotted it at the last moment. Sunray tickling him. As K1 dies to Lornoff. Okay, we'll talk about that in just a moment. 23 Savage eventually will die. My goodness.
I
but
mean, okay.
how did K1 die?
He went mid and got killed.
So he dies, respawns, and then dies. He's 0-3 right now, but he's still top net worth.
I mean, they're putting so much emphasis on trying to shut him down in this game. They've brought so many heroes. And this bottom move, honestly, yeah, they kill him, but...
Is it working? Look at the net worth.
No, not really. And that
crazy.
trade was flat out not good. If Analog had got a good magnetize on the 4 heroes in the tower, they would have all died on the spot. And I think K1, as a result, would actually not have died in mid, because then they would have moved their heroes differently. But instead, they do this 3-man chase for, I want to say, almost a full minute. They were running after that Spectre. And that meant that Troll went mid and got killed off by, I believe it was Tusk and Timber. So led to somewhat of a trade, I suppose. Oh, KJ does have Supernova.
He does have Supernova inside the egg. Nice spear. Can they save the egg? It's going to be close. A big rebuke comes out, and the egg does activate. Lornoff and company in a lot of trouble. He dies at 23 Savage. Another death to his name. And Heroic basically taking out where they left off from that last game, and they have definitely had the momentum on their side.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that was not so good.
Yeah.
For Aurora.
I mean, it just shows the level advantage. I mean, the fact that KJ is level 6 and Jabs is level 5.
Yeah, the level 5 Darkseer is actually a major concern.
I mean, Q on Tusk is a higher level than
Yeah.
Jabs right now. That's crazy.
Darkseer is a hero that uses levels incredibly well, and it makes a very big difference whether you hit level, let's say whether you're level 9 or level 11, because the extra points in either Vacuum or Surge are extremely valuable compared to, there's a lot of other, let's say there's a lot of offlane heroes where it's like the third skill maybe isn't that important, like Mars, right? Having an extra point in Bulwark or an extra point in Attribute bonus or whatever, it's like, you know, it's okay. On Darkseer, every skill point is massive, and you really want to hit that high level. Being level 6 min at 1030 is not par for the course.
A little drive-by Ice Shard, I guess. Man, nobody's afraid in this game, even though they probably should be at times. But let's get back to the Spectre, because this is the unusual hero of the game. With the Shadow Step, the facet actually that applies the Spectral Dagger is what he chose this game.
Yep.
What's the build? I guess we can see he's going for Blade Mail Radiance. It's not going to be like one of these weird Orchid type builds.
No, I think that ship has already sailed. If he wanted to go for that, he needed a better early game. So I think this is fine. Blade Mail is very good against the Radiant lineup. There's tons of uncontrollable damage. Troll does AoE damage, Snapfire does AoE damage, Earth Spirit, Phoenix even. And it also helps you farm. It's a farming item for Spectre because you jungle faster. This is one of this hero's biggest weaknesses, is compared to a lot of other carries that clear the jungle fast, Spectre is quite slow. If she could somehow match the farming speed of some of the popular tier 1 carry heroes, this hero would be picked a lot, but it has weak laning and low speed, so not exactly the cocktail you're looking for in this patch on your carry. But yeah, Blade Mail is one way to try to cover it. Radiance obviously helps even further with your farming speed, and it makes you a lot tankier in the fights, against the troll in particular, of course. But yeah, the concern here is that Spectre
Llama Arena towards that top rune area. Analog comes in with a big magnetize onto several heroes. Disruption to keep Lornoff safe, but Analog is the one taking the brunt of the damage despite having the Blade Mail. He is the first to fall. Jabs gets clipped by the Scatter Blast as the egg does go off in the background.
That was a very defensive Supernova from KJ. I think if he dove into the entire enemy team and popped in on top of them, that could have been a couple of kills perhaps, but he was very hesitant. He placed it very defensively, and Aurora just run away. Like, okay, you know. So a little win for them there. They get this pick on the enemy mid hero, lose nobody, and importantly, Spectre is getting time. This hero needs a breather. Actually, he swept away from the blade mail. He wants to go straight Radiant.
Oh.
Which will be an even... Okay, now he's queuing up Manta. We'll check in with him a bit later. Okay, let's talk to some other heroes while he
It's still Radiant.
has an identity
Into
crisis
Manta.
up here. Mars is close to Blink, which is obviously very big for the Radiant lineup. They have incredible synergy with Arena. You just need heroes to be in an enclosed space, and all of your heroes are thriving. Fat stack here for Hector.
Yeah, pretty juicy. Analog will tank a bit of it with that blade mail, and K1 will take the brunt of it. Still top net worth in the game, has the Maelstrom.
Oh, that's a fast dagger on Tusk. Wow. He's doing very well for himself. Q with those 4 kills. That's very good news for Aurora. It's the... Now they effectively have truly unlocked their 2 saves, right? Have the Shadow Demon Disruption, of course, which is just part of the kit. But with Tusk with a dagger, you can very quickly and very easily save people in the arena. With drinking buddies, that can be a bit tricky. It should be very easy, an easy time for him now. Also gives them some more offensive potential with just Blink Punch.
Yeah.
Rune.
Illusion.
The way of Analog.
Oh, okay.
That
little interaction.
That's physics work differently in Dota. Don't question it. We're just accepting.
Timber Chain takes priority over everything.
That just happened. That's normal.
Yeah. Other than actually, what wins, Timber Chain or Pudge Hook? I'm gonna say Pudge Hook probably. Or does it matter on the order?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So you're saying Timber throws a chain toward a tree and he gets hooked while it's traveling?
Yeah.
I think whichever arrives last takes priority.
Oh, okay.
So if Pudge hooks him in and the Timber Chain is still mid-air, I think he will just pull away, and otherwise Pudge will hook him back from...
Very relevant, of course, since we do see the Pudge.
It could happen later in this game.
We have a smoke from Heroic. You can see that nobody from Aurora looking to show up here quite yet on the Llama repositioning. This is going to be the Blink Dagger reveal. But they're going to have to wait.
Middle tower is under attack.
Maybe they'll just settle for the tier 1 tower as they group up here.
Yeah, and they should be getting this for free. I don't think Aurora have any interest in considering this. They are pinging out Analog, and they're going to glyph, but not going to bring the numbers. Are they actually thinking about it? Wait a second. He has Blade Mail and Illusion.
Coming, the Walrus Punch onto Analog, already getting evaporated, but will stay by a little bit longer, but the arena comes in finally from Divine Llama. Not enough to save the Earth Spirit. The egg does go off, but the Shadow Demon Disruption actually avoided most of it. So Loronoff's still alive, and now Divine Llama won against the world. And the world wins.
Okay. They did want to defend, and with good reason. Eternal Shroud, baby. That was insane how much damage Loronoff tanked. I think he ate like 7 Mortimer's Kisses and the whole combo, and then he just gets disrupted on 15% by Ollie. And I was going to say they defend the tower. They technically didn't. They end up denying it, but that was a 5v4.
K1
up top.
He's going to get some help from Schofield. Gets a nice cookie on it too, but there's a third member in Ollie. Snowball going to find its way over to the Snapfire. 23 Savage. It's actually going to be fine, and K1 Hector not so much. So another core kill for Aurora.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower.
This is some...
That's a sacred relic.
Damn, he is getting so much space. He shadow stepped into that fight, did a little bit of damage, and then left and went back to his tower, knowing that if he stuck around any longer, he would have died. So he still participates and gets assist credit for it, and then he's just farming top. This is going way better right now from Aurora than I was expecting it to after the first few minutes of the laning stage, and that's really, really good news for them. The Darkseer has now recovered and got a lot of levels. The Spectre is closing in on that Radiance. And this feels like the phase of the game where, you know, Heroic want to force and win decisively in some team fights with the 4 of them, even without the Troll. But that bottom fight really took the air out of them a little bit, with the Timbersaw frontlining being that tanky. That's the one thing they don't deal with very well, right? They have a ton of spread damage, but they don't deal a ton of single target. So a Timber with that Eternal Shroud is a tough nut to crack.
K1 working on Ags for Troll. So let's count the dispels here, Cinderin. So self-dispels and dispelling the enemy.
Yeah.
So other than the obvious, like the auras and whatnot, but in terms of the skills itself, you can take off Ion Shell.
Surge.
And Surge.
That's huge.
And Spectral Dagger.
Yeah.
I don't think Shadow Poison is dispellable, if I'm not mistaken. That might be...
I mean, the dagger should also linger on you, right? So he can't dispel the slow on himself, if I'm not mistaken. I think that one also will linger fully. But I don't know about targeting the Spectre. I think that is dispellable.
Is Drinking Buddies dispellable?
It says yes.
Okay, well that theoretically could be pretty gigantic.
However, it is a relatively new spell, so yes could mean no. 23 Savage.
Yes, Arena, he's about to pick up his Radiance. We'll have to wait a little bit longer. Doesn't lose that much gold in the end. A good pickoff from Heroic and showing us some signs of life. And yeah, the Ag's now online for K1, and they're just going to go straight into the pit.
Yeah, Troll's good at this. His low cooldown axis, he'll just keep whirling away. And Mars, of course, tanking it with the bulwark for him. Should be relatively easy, but still, I think Aurora are, despite losing this Roche, in a pretty comfortable position, because from my perspective, they have overcome what could have been the worst part of the game for their lineup. In the last 5 to 10 minutes, I think they've managed to stay afloat. And now, obviously, Lorenoff, being the beast that he is in this game, is still going to prove to be a challenge for quite a while for them to deal with. That they can still look to fight, and they will. Smoking up here. And they will find Phoenix.
Yeah, that would be a
They
good
will
kill. They're
ignore
going to
Phoenix.
avoid him completely. Want to go for Divine Llama instead. That's going to be an easy pickoff. So it's a one and done, it seems, as the Radiance now officially online for 23 Savage.
Yeah. His farm is going to accelerate a lot now.
Whoa. All right. There's the wall from Jabs, just making sure that that ultimate works. It's an Earth Spirit illusion.
Now, Spectre is queuing up Manta and Orchid. See which one it's going to be. I think... I don't know if Orchid is necessary. I guess the really nice thing about it is it allows you to solo kill Phoenix, which is incredibly potent, of course, to have that possibility on your character to just jump the backline. But yeah, he probably needs the Manta first to actually be able to kill with you.
Oh my. Nice punch.
Is he going to egg?
AJ's
No.
dead.
I think he could have maybe egged. This was Timber, Tusk, Shadow Demon. He had 3 teammates on backup, but...
I want to talk about a late game scenario, because we might be getting to that point since it's so even. For Q on Tusk. He's going to go BKB next. I think Aghanim Scepter, third item, sounds like a dream against Troll.
I would actually really like to see him bite now.
Okay. I mean, I figured the BKB is to be able to maneuver out of Arena. I mean, he does have the blink, but obviously you can get that disabled quite easily.
Yeah. That's just, I don't know. I mean, both items are really good for different reasons, right? But as you said, the Walrus kick is insane against Troll. It just gives you so much utility. You can either kick him really far away when he ults, and then his ult is wasted, or if you're going for him, you can separate him entirely from his supporting cast of the Mars and the Snap. You can also kick him out of the Sunray heal. You know, there's like many different upsides to it. Hector, speaking of the Troll in mid Aegis.
Okay. Can they burn this relatively easily? Schofield is trying to help from the final as the analog comes in.
Not going to use
Gets punched in the air.
Okay.
You can see the wall placed as well, but not a whole lot of follow-up. So
Clear-cut disengage call. I actually thought that was turnable for them. He had a 2-man Gleipnir. They could have blink arena'd, but they choose not to. They maintain control instead. Now the Aegis. 2 minutes left on it. Really good vision, by the way, currently from both sides. Some key areas being covered. The Radiant Ward around the enemy Ancient camp, as well as the top half. So they're really trying to find 23 Savage. The Dire Wards a little bit out on the map.
They want K1.
He's
alone.
alone.
He gets the Ancients. He's in a bit of trouble.
Oh.
He actually does use Battle Charge. He's just bashing the crap out of this Dorkseer. They try to get him onto the wall, but it's not going to happen. That's already kill for K1. They're going to burn life number 1.
Oh boy, missing that vacuum.
Heroic.
Real bad.
On the way. Arena only going to hit Q. They're going to focus everything on the Shadow Demon first. That's an easy pickoff. Q, Ice Shards himself, trying to get out with a little cheeky move there. It's not to be, though. 3 kills in the name of Heroic, and now they can get a tier 2 tower.
Oh
Probably
boy.
the Tormentor as well.
What could have been an easy Aegis snipe turns into a 0-for-3 fight, specifically because the Darkseer, I think level 4 vacuum there would have done it.
Radiant's top tower.
But he was just outside of range. The vacuum misses getting the cliffing off. He actually missed it entirely on an ulting troll, which you could say in itself is highly unfortunate. He was standing still, but it's one of those things where if he's like right at the periphery of the circle that you're vacuuming him with, you kind of just have to hope that it's close enough, and it wasn't. And therefore, Hector kills the Darkseer, stays alive for an additional 5 seconds, isn't cliffed, and his whole team gets to rotate over. I feel like that did not seem premeditated from Heroic. I feel like they arguably just got a little bit lucky there with a misexecution from Aurora.
Yeah, I mean, that was
in the middle.
It felt like it was a 20-second 1v5.
Yeah, it was a very long fight. But they make the most of it. They will steal the enemy Tormentor and take their own. That means both Devi and Schofield now with the Shard.
Very nice.
King Jungle bought his own, so they also have that one.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep, I would say that was a very good use of Aegis for Heroic.
Yeah, I think that could not have gone any better. So Mars eyeing up a Deso. We've seen this from 1 or 2 other players as well. This isn't the traditional, or rather, it is the very traditional Mars build from years back. But as of late, Marses have been focusing a lot of the time on Refresher, sometimes on Auras. But in this one, Devi Lama will go for the full-on, I will amp up my troll through minus armor and do more damage myself. It does come at the expense of some auras, because sure, the Snapfire can buy the Greaves, but it looks like, okay, Phoenix will buy the Pipe, so sure, okay. They will still have those 2 items on other heroes, and then with that, Mars can become stronger.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The Deso build does feel good as a Mars player. Rebuke taking full advantage of that.
Radiant's bottom
Tier 2 tower now is going to potentially be pushed. You can see pretty even game despite the 6k lead.
I mean, Gaimin loves Spectre. That's no secret.
True.
Always did. Favorite hero after Sand King, of course, which is now finally good. So maybe Gabe is actually playing Dota right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
K1
Dire's structures
doing a lot of damage here. It looks like they'll just pop the fortification and then... I mean, this... Actually, the fort will not refresh because they already did kill the bottom tier 2, so... See if Heroic can time this. Then going high ground.
Radiant's middle
I suppose that would
tower is under
refresh
attack.
anyway. Smoke now.
Or Spectre, but not there.
Oh, jabs. It's going to be spotted. Speared into a tree. Schofield trying to find the right angle. Scatterblast, okay. They do get the Mars Arena off. And Jab's just going to try to TP out, but the Gleipnir finds him. That's going to be the death of the Darkseer. As Ollie, his TP is canceled as well. That's going to be 2 kills again for Heroic.
Yeah. And didn't feel like the hero they went there for. I feel like that smoke was targeting Spectre, but all of a sudden the Darkseer walks under a ward. They open up on him, and then the Shadow Demon trying to help out gives them a double.
How good is
Manta is complete?
How good is late game Spectre today?
It's still one of the absolute ultra late gamers. The question is can you get there? If we reach, let's say, some 50-60 minute territory, the hero is still very strong.
Ornoff, he does a lot of damage. As you can see, the Shadow Step was used. Gleipnir as well. Schofield's going to take the brunt of the damage, though. He's the first to fall. Analog able to roll away. And it looks like that'll break things up. I mean, the traditional counter to Spectre is break. Can you even... Who would you even buy Silver Edge on?
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Would you put it on Troll?
He could. He's queuing it up.
Oh, he actually is. Okay.
It's not ideal, but it is obviously very strong in the hero-to-hero matchup. I guess there's also a little bit of an extra benefit in breaking the Timber Saw if you do it early. So he doesn't get reactive armor stacks, so there's like added benefits. So I think it's okay. And Troll, obviously, he benefits from the components as well. The Silver Edge getting the attack speed. Getting attack speed on Troll is actually not bad, despite you might think, wow, he already has Fervor, why does this hero want attack speed? But if you think about it, getting attack speed allows you to get the Fervor stacks up and running really fast.
Yep.
And that makes your ulti extremely powerful even if you start from 0. So having attack speed on Troll is not bad. You want the right mix of that and attack damage, of course, but we'll get there. Lincoln's should be completed very soon for him. He's missing 1,000 roughly on the Troll. Spectre with the Manta, already another 1,000 to her name. Darkseer almost has BKB. Interesting choice here over getting Greaves Blink. He will prioritize that staying power against all the magic damage and just the freedom to cast the spells.
Octarine on Analog is going to do work here.
Yeah.
Double smoke as K1 showing himself.
This one seems relatively telegraphed.
Yeah.
Nobody's showing mid, nobody's showing bottom, so I think Aurora are well aware.
Oh.
They will offer up Lorenoff, but he's such a difficult catch. That's a very early Shadow Step. He's not going to connect on this one. Just maybe trying to dissuade them from looking for a fight, but ultimately this means the spell is now unavailable, and they're just going to sacrifice a tower.
Yep, tier 2 dead, and we can see that Roche is up in 20 seconds.
Radiant's bottom tower is
They'll have close to a minute to kill it before it heads down to the Radiant side.
Yeah, should be enough.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
If they check it.
3.
Oh, they're going to walk in at the perfect time.
Oh, or not.
Oh, he aggroed
okay.
it. He aggroed it with a Cloak of Flames. Wow. That was on the dot.
Aurora want to fight now. And they have a really good lineup for this, by the way.
Radiant's middle
Obviously, you have the
tower-
Radiance and the
Aurora.
back wall. And
They're very stacked in the pit, but Darkseer isn't here.
Yeah. Lorenoff throwing out the Chakram. Analog goes in with a BKB and his Magnetize. It looks like Roche will be for Heroic. Lorenoff desperately trying to get over there. It's going to be close, actually. Lorenoff takes the Aegis, and they kill Roche as well. They have the arena, but everybody's outside of it, outside of Lorenoff, who's basically impossible to kill here. The Mars has fallen. K1 trying to focus onto jabs. And Analog gets punched into the air. We have a TP buyback from the Shadow Demon. Analog, despite having the blade activated, does drop as Jabs somehow getting out with barely any HP. This went amazingly for Aurora. Going through the gates left, right, and center, but
How did they not finish Roche in that?
I
That
don't
was
know.
So long, and it felt like Roche wasn't taking. Did K1 start hitting the Timbersaw instead of Roche? Did he lose his fervor stacks? I'm really confused about how that went down that way. What a result for Aurora. Timbersaw gets the Aegis, he gets the last hit. We're gonna see the replay here. Look how low Roche is already. So they're gonna come in. Timber throws his spells, and they kick him out here with Analog, keep him busy. What's Troll got bashed? He's leaving the
running
pit.
out of the pit.
Hit the Roche.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
That is wow.
I cannot believe he changed his mind there and didn't just finish the Aegis. That is
Especially
such
for
a costly
K1.
mistake.
It feels like he makes his mind up very early.
That is a very costly mistake.
Radiant structures are fortified.
If he could have finished that right there and then got the Aegis, we're looking at a totally different fight. And now instead Aurora win a very big one. And now they're in a comfortable position. Little bit ahead on the gold. Not going to put too much stock into that. But just the fact that the
Is under attack.
Aegis is not on Troll is a very big relief for them.
The Llama not too happy with that fight. Very emotional player. And we'll see if they can bounce back now. I mean, it's still very even game, despite that. I mean, that's what evened it up, I suppose, in terms of net worth. The Lorenoff, I mean, you couldn't really kill him before. Now with the Aegis, you just kind of got to ignore. It's K1. He's going to be spotted. Shiba's activated by Lorenoff. They're going to get the punch out from Q. The wall onto 2 as well with the vacuum to follow. As K1 trying to focus on the Timbersaw. That is not the choice, my friend.
Oh,
the roll misses completely. Schofield slow to a crawl. The illusions are killing him off. Although, able to find the distance finally, the Spectre comes in to finish the job. Going in really deep as well as K1 and company will just have to hightail away.
Okay. Damn. This game changed a lot very fast. That's the classic Roche against a teamfight lineup. If things go wrong, I'd like to see the replay again if we can, because I'm still
Oh, you're dumbfounded.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I missed something about that pit fight. Because, like... Oh, we'll see. First of all, okay, looks like Analog is getting out here. Devi. Looks to be a bit quiet here. Okay, so... Is there something preventing Troll from hitting Roche? Is he getting, like, pushed? Is he not attackable because he's outside of the pit here from the shards?
He's stunned there.
I feel like is that actually not in the pit? Because
Oh, we have a team fight. Hold your horses. Mars Arena Aura to use. Q just walks away with his BKB. Egg goes off, but no kills. And now Heroic, how much have they used? Can they even continue to fight here? Lornoff still with that Aegis, an unkillable beast.
So the shards did not only... I think they might have pushed Roche out of the pit, but you can still attack him from inside the pit. I guess he didn't want to switch to range troll and finish it off because he couldn't guarantee that he would be able to grab the Aegis, since even if he gets the kill, nobody is within the shards. So that was just a super clutch play from Q that we missed at first glance. Holy moly. That's big. That's the kind of plays you want to see
Under attack.
from your position 4.
Yeah, he's had quite the game. And it looks like I see a point booster. Does that mean Aghanim Scepter? Yes, for Tusk. He's actually 600 away. Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. He's having
remember,
such a crazy good
we
game.
talked about Walrus. It goes through BKB. So it's really... I mean, K1 does have Lincolns, though. As he's going to solo the Tormentor, it seems. Getting really low on HP.
Yep.
He gets his own shard. In fact.
And that is more fervor.
Wait, Kick is definitely blocked by Lincolns, right? Because I remember they changed it. I can't remember which way.
Kick is blocked by Lincolns, yes. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Because it is vector targeted, which I think means it wasn't blocked initially, and then they changed it so it
Yeah,
was.
that sounds right. Oh, amplify damage rune. Lornoff has a bottle.
I mean, the fact that K1 had to go Lincolns and BKB kind of feels bad on any carry.
Yeah, I guess for Troll is one of the heroes it feels least bad on, specifically because he does so much damage as long as he does get to hit, compared to a lot of other carries, like the flat-out DPS when you're pressing your ult and praying for the best is quite high. But yeah, obviously he would love to not have to, but probably does have to get both here. Aurora are in a very, very comfortable position now. Aegis will expire on Lornoff. He now picks up the Scythe of Ice. He also has an Amplify Damage rune if they want to fight. A little bit of a complaint there. When you mouse over the bottle, it says rune double damage. I think that's very confusing to new players.
Yeah, what's double damage?
It's not double.
And you can see that Devi has changed his mind. It's not a Deso, by the way. It is a Hex. So more utility. We'll be going for the Refresher next.
Yeah.
So really, all the physical damage is going to be Troll. And even his build, he's had to go somewhat defensive as well. As they're going to get the Walrus Kick. That is the...
He could egg this.
Yeah, he could actually do it. He's going to get Walrus Punch and dead. So Phoenix...
I mean, he would have died.
4v5.
They were not ready with Mars. Phoenix and Mars have to be in range. If Phoenix and Mars are close to each other and he gets off a Yule, he can egg and then try to cover it with the arena. But they were not close enough by. So a nice little snipe there from the side of Aurora.
Yep, that was the Walrus Kick reveal.
Yeah.
And it is going to be so hard to play against that now. And we talk about it all the time, but not just the Walrus Kick, but it's actually not that hard to kite a Troll Warlord in the late game if your supports have enough items.
Very true.
Which begs the question, do you go for the Nullifier? And then if you go for Nullifier, do you even have room for it at that point? Like the fact that he can't just build what he wants. He has to build in response to other things feels bad.
Yeah, I mean, Nullifier is overkill when you already have Axe, right? It really shouldn't be necessary.
Although you can't... It doesn't work on Yules, does it? The Dispo?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
I don't think I've seen that work.
Yeah, I don't think it works, but maybe, actually. Either way, I think the Mars build is very telling, though. As you mentioned, him getting Hex over Deso. I'm not sure if it's the right choice compared to going Deso AC, because I'm a little bit concerned for Heroic's damage. That as you say, if Troll is getting kited, are their heroes on Aurora actually gonna die? Spectre is starting to reach critical levels of tankiness. That's what this hero does late game. We already covered Timber. Don't need to mention that. Tusk is also very beefy. I mean, all of their heroes. There's not a single easy kill on the side of Aurora. So if Mars can't offer a lot in that regard, but only offers control, they're really trusting in K1's ability to hit.
Oh, they get the Hex. They get the opening onto the Tusk, but the vacuum is going to delay things. And look at the damage that Divine Llama has already taken. The Snowball wasted so much time. Nobody even dies inside of it. And the first to fall is Divine Llama. K1 finally pops the battle chance, but here is where the kiting begins. Gets kicked off the cliff. Finally gets brought down by the cookie. And is killed off shortly after a 3-for-0. And Aurora in the driver's seat.
That's a three-pointer.
Well, that's a three-pointer. A 4-for-0 Aurora. Doing quite, yeah, and Q, that was the one they initiated on. He's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
My God.
I mean, that's just a very clutch counterplay with the Hex, right? I think Timber came in and very quickly hexed the Mars. So Mars jumped, he blink hexed Tusk, started up the arena, and as he was about to spear, he got hexed by Lorenoff. So Devi not popping his BKB on the opener there costs him dearly, because perhaps they could have burst that Tusk and built it into something. But it is so difficult to engage on Aurora's team now. Shadow Demon and Tusk can save heroes. All of the heroes are tanky, as we mentioned, and your damage is just... It takes time for Heroic's lineup to build up a fight. They can't just go in and burst someone and take it from there. You need to land some Phoenix spells, get a Magnetize rolling, Snapfire Kisses ideally. All of this is
Wait,
not
is the reason
bursting.
he was able...
Top tower is under attack.
Wait, who'd you say got the Hex off there? Onto Devi?
Wasn't it Timber?
Wasn't he on the outside of the... Was it the
Radiant's
wall
middle
that gave the
tower is under
vision
attack.
inside the...
I mean, I'm not seeing anything else that could have hexed him, right? I feel like he got hexed instantly after he went on the Tusk. Maybe I'm mistaken, but...
Either way, quite the kick. And now... Roche will go the way of Aurora, which means 23 Savage.
Schofield is...
taking a Lotus.
Okay.
All right, that's a bit risky. There's the Hex from Devi. It's going to get initiated on. His analog is really deep here. The BKBs are traded, and the pipe is going to brush off a lot of this damage, but Schofield eventually brought down by 23 Savage. He'll buy back instantly. Now the roll onto the Timbersaw, still trying to ignore him. The arena, nobody's even inside other than the Snowball Q. He wastes so much time again.
Oh, Lorna.
Aurora is actually taking quite a bit, but we'll be able to Timber Chain away. Eventually, they do finally take out the Tusk, as the Mortimer's Kisses not providing a whole lot. But they do find the Shadow Demon on the outskirts here. Well, they don't have the vision, apparently. And the Phoenix eventually brought down by 23 Savage. There's the buyback, though, onto the Tusk. Is Ollie still alive in the trees? Analog, still. We have a big kick onto Divine Llama with the Snowball to follow. He's going to be brought down. 70 seconds of no Mars. And now K1 focusing on this Tusk. It would be a pretty big kill because it would be a dieback, in fact, but 23 Savage using his ult to get to the back line. And Schofield and company going to try to collapse here, but K1 destroyed. And Schofield looks to be next on the list, and Aurora did lose a member or so, but they come out on top big time in this fight.
What a chaotic... 23 Savage was chasing Phoenix for like 30 seconds on the outskirts. That was just two separate fights happening at the same time. But
how did the Shadow Demon live?
But they can't really deal with the spec when she has Aegis. Again, it's the damage problems. If Troll isn't killing 23, who's going to do it? It's just way too much to chew through. Lorenoff really played that fight, again, exceptionally well. He tanked. The ideal Timbersaw fight at this point in the game is where the enemy team uses tons of resources to get you to 20%, but don't finish the job. Because all of that is damage that could have gone on something else, and ultimately just ends up being completely wasted. This is approaching the type of game state that Spectre just don't miss.
Oh, yeah. Gaimin knew all along.
30 seconds before any reinforcements will arrive here for Heroic. They have a glyph by some time here, but doesn't feel like... Well, maybe they can even defend this one Rex.
I mean, their building
pretty
damage
slow.
is not particularly great.
They're not good at killing the banner, though. I guess Snapfire.
Yep, Snapfire is very good. Oh, they're silent into the kick and the Hex.
Oh, boy.
He's dead. No Phoenix Egg for the next 70 seconds. Full lane racks here for Aurora. They get the melee, and now they transition to the bot lane. So the fortification is refreshed and will be used instantly. And I think Heroic, realizing they might have to fight 4v5, if you don't even include the Aegis, it's 4v6.
They might just give it. They
might have to.
They don't seem ready for it.
Radiant's bottom tower
Hector
is
killed the
falling.
banner.
They did it.
Top tower is under attack.
But they're going to lose racks, it seems.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
A little bit
So
of a
this
time
will-
machine here, destroying 2 melee racks back to back. Very unusual.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Generally don't see teams do that nowadays. But Aurora have played Dota for a very long time, and they remember the good old days.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, the range racks is kind of forgettable. Now, if you killed the range barracks and it upgraded your catapults to trebuchets, then it would be worth it.
Yeah, or
Little
to,
idea
like,
for Valve.
or to Abrams tanks.
Yeah. That sounds good as well. Both great ideas. 2 lanes of barracks for Aurora, 32k lead. What can Heroic possibly do to get back in this game? They have the silver edge for K1. So breaking the Spectre into a kill just as the Aegis is expiring would be the dream scenario, but I just don't know how they kill Lornoff right now. He's absurdly tanky.
I haven't known how they kill him all game. So it's not new.
And this isn't even like an Aghanim Scepter Timber, right?
No, he's not buying it because of Troll.
Yes, true.
He'll just dispel it all the time. So Lornoff is just going a completely different build. Clearly knowledgeable about this matchup and what you do. So I wonder what he's going to do last. So he swapped in an Arcane Blink with a Haste Rune in the back in the bottle right now. He'll obviously swap that for Eternal Shroud, but is this his final build, or is there an item that's replaceable and upgradable here? Because I honestly feel like you might almost be better off giving a Moonshard to Spectre than buying Ags for yourself. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's a bit too ridiculous.
You don't like Haunt? Wait, what are you talking
No, Timber himself.
Oh, Timber.
If
Right.
he should, like, what's his next item? Is it getting Spectre a Shard or himself an Ags? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see if it even becomes relevant here. But, you know, obviously against every other hero than Troll, the reactive armor activation is nice.
Yeah. Nope, Lornoff going in really deep. There's the kick. Analog will pop the BKBs. Now Walrus Punch. Arena comes out from Devi. Shadow is getting out the disruption as K1 focusing everything on the Tusk, but he gets vacuumed to the high ground. The kiting of Troll continues. Devi now trying to run away in his own base. K1 in the midst of everybody just dies. And GG's called, so we're going to a game number 3.
The unexpected brawl. The panel didn't cover this. They didn't think about the punch into kick combo. But the full martial arts on display here from Aurora will get them to a game 3. Very entertaining game. I feel like there were a couple